Welcome to GESARA for Dummies. It is May 23, 2025. Let's look at today's news from Professor William Liebenberg, prepared by Martin Stein. Please like, share and subscribe. Join our Telegram group in the comments below. Thank you. Let's go. Iraq and Dinar RV. Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill isn't just about tax cuts and immigration, it's the operational key to unlocking a full financial realignment. You're watching Iraq's dinar revaluation preparations. XRP, liquidity pathways are being finalized. Vietnamese dong, quietly shifting positions. Gold reserves recalculated. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, phased out in favor of tariff-based funding. Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC, stalled to make room for asset-backed alternatives. Various cryptocurrencies regulations passed. Various financial protocols being activated, for example, Basel III, ISO 20022, Bretton Woods III Agreement, etc. This bill seals the border, because sovereignty must come before value. It ends tax slavery because the system is moving to external revenue, trade, not labor. It restructures the federal beast, because you can't plug in the new rails until the old system is neutralized. No bill equals no legal trigger. No legal trigger equals no reset. This vote is the mechanics for the RV, and if it passes, don't be surprised when Iraqi dinar pairs go live, XRP corridors ignite, and the fake fiat world starts getting priced out of existence. This is it, execution phase. Once it passes, everything that's been held back gets released. It is believed we'll see a coordinated flood of activation within 1 to 3 weeks of it passing, and the infrastructure is ready. Big change is coming. Everything is connected for the reset precipice. Thank you to 589 Bull for this article. The GESARA Law. White House spokesman said, on June 14, Trump to mark 250th anniversary of U.S. Army with a grand military parade. To feature vets, active troops, wounded warriors, Gold Star families, and patriotic Americans. Let's watch.
The President will further honor our military next month on June 14th when he hosts the 250th anniversary of the United States Army with a grand military parade celebration right here in our nation's capital. President Trump will be joined by veterans, active duty troops, wounded warriors, Gold Star families, and patriotic Americans from across the country to celebrate our heroes who have kept us safe. Tickets for the parade and the celebration are available through the America 250 Commission's event registration portal. It will be a truly historic and special day for our country.
South African law enforcer Mkhwanazi, we have a problem with a black man in South Africa. We have a serious problem. Violent crime has skyrocketed, and is disproportionately committed by blacks. There's a genocide against whites. Sheer respect for this black cop, speaking out against the atrocities of the South African government. People have reached a breaking point, after Elon Musk's DOGE discoveries. No more. We're done with government. Look at what President Trump is showing us. If there's that much, if there's trillions of dollars of waste at the federal level. You know, there's billions of dollars of waste at the state level. There's millions of dollars of waste at the county level. And there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of waste at the township level. And people are done. People are sick of it. They're done. Well, there's a breaking point. There's a breaking point, we've reached it. BRICS GESARA Nations Alliance. China frees possible $27 billion. From insurers to buy gold. A pilot program in China, that allows insurers to buy gold for the first time, could free up billions of dollars of investment in the metal, adding further impetus to a record-setting rally. Prices hit a fresh peak. 10 insurance firms, including the People's Insurance Company Property and Casualty Company, and China Life Insurance Company, two of China's biggest, will be able to invest as much as 1% of their assets in bullion, in a program that became effective last Friday. That would translate into a potential 200 billion yuan, $27.4 billion, of funds, Minsheng Securities Company said in a note. NB. The cabal's fiat US petrodollar will collapse, and the gold standard will be ushered in, as I told you in all my articles. Trump will save the US, with crypto. All eyes on XRP. Algeria joins the BRICS New Development Bank, expanding the bloc's financial reach. The move was confirmed by New Development Bank Chief Juma Rousseff during a meeting in Cape Town, signaling growing Global South alignment. U.S. debt. U.S. Treasury could default as soon as August, Congressional Budget Office warns. Regular readers are aware of the reason for this plunge. Ever since the U.S. hit the debt ceiling, in the last days of the Biden administration, the U.S. Treasury has been unable to issue new debt, and so has been forced to draw down its cash to fund day-to-day operations. Obviously, there is a limit to how much longer this can continue. After all, once the cash balance hits zero, the Treasury will have to start prioritizing payments, and eventually, it may even have to delay payments of interest, or repayments of principal, better known as default. Which brings us to the latest report, from the Congressional Budget Office, published this morning, which warned that the federal government could run out of enough money to pay all of its bills on time, as soon as August, if lawmakers fail to raise or suspend the debt limit. To wit, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that if the debt limit remains unchanged, the government's ability to borrow, using extraordinary measures, will probably be exhausted in August, or September 2025. The projected exhaustion date is uncertain, because the timing and amount of revenue collections, and outlays over the intervening months, could differ from Congressional Budget Office projections. On Monday, the Bipartisan Policy Center said that, according to public data, the Treasury will be forced to start defaulting on obligations, sometime between mid-July and early October. The July date is popping up again. Banks in the economy. Moody's issues warning on U.S. finances. American fiscal strength is on course for continued multi-year decline, the rating agency has said. Ratings agency Moody's has sounded the alarm on the United States' fiscal health, warning of a continued decline due to widening budget deficits and increasing concerns over debt affordability. The warning comes as the national debt surpasses $36 trillion, and annual deficits exceed $1.7 trillion, raising concerns about the government's ability to manage its financial obligations. Everything is falling into place for the long-awaited cabal fiat dollar crash and reset. Payment systems. XRP is seen as the big switch, because it's built to transform how money moves around the world. 1. Replaces the old system, SWIFT. The current way banks send money, SWIFT, is slow and expensive. XRP allows instant, cheap transfers worldwide. 2. Unlocks trapped money. Right now, banks must keep money in foreign accounts to do business. XRP lets them send money without pre-funding, saving trillions. 3. Bridges global currencies. XRP can connect different currencies, like United States dollar to euro, or a digital dollar to a digital euro, in seconds. 4. Flip the switch idea. Some believe XRP is already integrated behind the scenes, and one day, it'll be switched on for global use all at once. 5. XRP to go gold-backed. XRP, going gold-back and BRICS involvement. Note: XRP is designed to be the switch that upgrades the global financial system, faster, cheaper, and more connected. Yes, when SWIFT enables digital asset functionality on its live network this year, it will use ISO-compliant cryptocurrencies, like XRP. The proof is in these 3 documents. 1. In 2025, for the first time ever, SWIFT will use digital assets in real-world transactions. Real money. Major currencies. Trillions per day. 2. SWIFT will not create its own digital assets. Instead of competing with services like Ripple and XRP, it aims to complement them. 3. ISO 20022 compliant cryptocurrencies have a greater likelihood of being integrated into centralized payment systems. Confirms the unique value proposition of ISO compliant cryptocurrencies. When is ISO 20022 going live? At July 14, 2024. This is how ISO-compliant digital assets will integrate into ISO 20022, messages to transfer value within the traditional financial system. Explained concisely by Impel CEO, Troy Wood. Listen closely to grasp the value proposition of ISO-compliant cryptocurrencies. Ponder on this. What Bitcoin maximalists miss is that value movement is as important as value storage. You can hoard gold bars in a cave, but if you can't move them at speed across borders, what is the use of it? You're stuck in 1910. XRP isn't fiat. It's programmable liquidity that exposes the rot in fiat's plumbing. JP Morgan, CEO, predicts governments will crash Bitcoin, and it will go to zero. Brad Christian, I'm going to confirm this on my end. I'm in a call Monday afternoons with a guy from the US Treasury, and there is tremendous movement and preparation. The military is very involved, and is basically running the operation. There's a lot more to the military than what you think. This gentleman has actually said that, in 90 days the beginning of phasing out the basic US dollar will begin. Replaced by the USN and the UST. But to be sure, it's a global reset. All of it has to be done at the same time, if you're going asset-backed. Let's move on to the Genius Act. The Senate has advanced the Genius Act, a landmark stablecoin regulation bill. Next stop, the House. But make no mistake, this has always been the plan. For those who've been paying attention, this isn't a surprise. We've known for years that stablecoins would form the foundation of the new financial system. They aren't just digital dollars, they're programmable liquidity rails, backed by real-world assets. Inside those treasury bonds? Gold, silver, commodities, tokenized assets. It's all there, and it's been there. The US debt clock has been giving us clues for years. It's shown dollars backed by gold, silver, etc., hidden timestamps, shifting metrics. You just had to look. Thank you to Telegram group RV Highlights for the article. This is why I've never been panicked about a market collapse or a black swan event. In my opinion, they've already tapped into the new treasury dollar. Behind the scenes, it's been structured and layered in gradually, quietly, to prevent economic freefall as backup plan. While many have been waiting for a collapse, or crying for chaos, what we're witnessing is a controlled demolition of the old and a seamless integration of the new. The Genius Act? It's not the start. It's just the reveal. This is how they save the global economy, and transition us into the next monetary era. Know what you hold. The playbook's been public, just encrypted. Czar David Sachs, the Genius Act stablecoin bill, will pass with significant bipartisan support. We already have $200 billion in unregulated stablecoins. With legal clarity, we could unlock trillions in demand for U.S. treasuries overnight. Reset is at the door. Currency wars. Robert Kiyosaki predicts financial collapse is here. What if you threw a party and no one showed up? That is what happened yesterday. The Federal Reserve held an auction for U.S. bonds, and no one showed up. So the Federal Reserve quietly bought $50 billion of its own fake money, with fake money. The fiat crashing is coming. But wait, there is more. Let's watch these 6 short videos for a better understanding of what's going on.
Did you know the United States has around 750 military bases in over 80 countries around the world? That's a huge global footprint, more than any other country. For instance, Australia has 4 major American military bases, which ranks them at 10th. Then we have Kuwait at 9th, with 5 bases supporting U.S. operations in the Middle East. At 8th is Poland, also with 5 American bases, showing the growing military presence in Eastern Europe. The United Kingdom comes in at 7th, hosting 5 key U.S. bases, including ones that support air and intelligence missions. Germany ranks 6th with 6 bases, making it a major hub for U.S. forces in Europe. Papua New Guinea surprisingly comes in at 5th, also with 7 bases, reflecting America's increasing focus on the Pacific region. At 4th, we have Italy, which hosts 8 American bases that support missions across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. South Korea takes the 3rd spot with 8 American bases playing a critical role in regional defense. At 2nd, it's the Philippines with 10 U.S. bases as the two countries continue to strengthen their military ties. And finally, at number 1, we have Japan with 14 American military bases, more than any other country, many of them located in Okinawa, supporting operations all across the Asia Pacific.
America is going to be the poorest country in the world starting now. You're going to see the biggest crashes happening right now. So that's good for me because the price of gold and silver go up. So this time I went to the slums of Mumbai. But what shocks most people is America never had slums like that. Today, slums are everywhere across America. The slums of Mumbai are spreading across America. So the big shift is Russia, China versus America, Europe. The Chinese are threatening to shift the yuan to gold. And if they do that, US dollar collapses. If that happens, America goes. So that's why I've been saying it's commodities, silver and gold. So when the dollar crashes, I get richer.
Do you understand what Apple's about to do to XRP? Do you get it? It's been talked about for a while that Apple is using Ripple's protocol for its tap-to-pay system. Then you look a little deeper and it gets really weird. This is the iPhone 15. This was shipped worldwide to millions and millions of people. Here's a better look, and here's XRP. When you start digging, you see XRP everywhere. This is a robot. Do you see XRP? What does this look like to you? To me, this looks like XRP. I fully believe Ripple is going to be the leading technology in crypto. There will be a day where you can take your phone out, you can tap to pay. What a better company to do it than Apple. I mean, after all, they're already partnered with Render. Just keep an eye out. That's all I'm saying. And I really do believe the people that pay attention and see what's happening behind the scenes know that XRP is going to be a game changer. Let me know what company you think is going to use XRP first. And be on the Instagram. I'll keep you updated.
There's 33,000 tons of gold has made its way to China since 2000.
Okay.
33,000 tons. Just log that figure. Let's assume that half of that gold is state-owned. It's probably higher, but let's assume, so 16,000 tons, 17,000 tons, about that figure. That is twice as much gold as America has, and that's assuming America has its gold. And we all know that China wants its own currency and it wants reserve currency status and blah, blah, blah. If China wanted to get involved in the currency wars, at the moment it's just stayed out of it. All it has to do is go, oh, actually, this is how much gold we've got. And if it suddenly has twice as much gold as America, then the whole global financial landscape changes with one announcement.
For the first time, we actually have $1 million gold bar this year. This gold bar, 400 ounce, 12 kilos, could have been bought for $14,000 in 71, and now it's $1 million. But what it really tells us is that you bought a 400 ounce bar for $14,000 in 1971, and now in 2024, you get 6 ounces of gold for the same amount. And that shows you the destruction of paper money. No government ever tells you that the money in your pocket is going down every day. Everybody just talks about inflation, but inflation is nothing else but a falling currency.
China just left the United States in the dust. They've built a quantum computer that's a quadrillion times faster than the most advanced supercomputers. Meet Zhuchongji 3.0, a 105-qubit processor so powerful it can solve problems in minutes that would take 6.4 billion years for the fastest supercomputer to complete. To put that in perspective, Google's quantum processor, a joke. This beast outperforms it by a factor of 1 million and sets a new standard with 99.9% fidelity. The secret? A two-dimensional grid design that crushes electromagnetic noise and enables quantum circuits beyond anything the West has achieved. But this isn't just about technology. It's a power move. China is making a statement. They are winning the quantum race. And if quantum computing is the future of AI, cryptography, and national security, what does that mean for the rest of the world? AI and quantum are evolving faster than governments can regulate them. Is this the dawn of innovation or the beginning of a technological Cold War? We're not just making robots faster. We're making them more intelligent. The question is how long before they decide they don't need us at all.
Sums up your Friday news. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. See you all Monday.